Hey, Curvies, what is good? What's good? What's good? Okay, this is take two. This is take two. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for coming through. Give you guys a minute. That was abruptly shut down, I know. Plus, I was running a little late because I was reading this article, I kind of got caught up on the research side. But, can you hear me okay? Let's see. Can we hear me okay? We're on the road to 3K over here. Super excited about it. Super excited. So go ahead and tell a friend about us if you have fun over here. Tell a friend. We're only 30 away from 3K. 30 away from 3K. 30 away from 3K. Uh, uh, uh. Ooh, 3K, 30 away, 3K, 30 away, yeah, that's right. I got the music in me. Okay, you guys, are you in here? Oh yeah, there you guys are. Come on in. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. Thanks for coming back and playing. This is take two of what we were doing a second ago, which is this. Okay, we're here today on LRGA Curves because I owed you Curvies. I owe my Curvies. I owe you guys so much. I totally appreciate you all for coming through and playing with me. We got lots to talk about on highs, buys, whys, and lies on today's segment, okay? Can we talk for a minute? Because you know this world's insane and I'm live again, okay? Yeah, I have to say it as again, in order for it to rhyme perfectly. But I'm from Oakland. I can say however I want. Take a note from E40 if you haven't noticed. We were already doing that. That is totally Bay culture, to just take something and redo it and make it your own. That's how E40 has his whole vibe, right? So Q, my wonderful moderator, thanks for being you. Thanks for coming through. Hey, you, how is security going? How is securitizing going? Huh? You on your way to work? Or is that later? Anyway, okay. So highs, buys, whys, and lies. Did you guys know there's a lot going on? There is so much going on today. You guys, Apollo has a long lost son. We were listening to that live the other day. So this is in highs. Each thing is a segment. Okay, so each person up here is in a category of highs, buys, whys, or lies. Some are in double categories. There might be somebody up here that's triple category. I haven't really figured it all out yet. But in the highs, as in hello, not as in 420, the highs have it with Apollo and a long lost son, y'all. Apollo and a long lost son. So remember the other day, the last time I went live, we listened to Apollo. We've been listening to a lot of Apollo. So ever since Shireen posted the pictures of him with his hands upon the titties of another woman in their kitchen, that the judge said they both could stay in the house even though they're divorced. Hashtag super divorced is what I think Apollo put that up under his or something. Hashtag super divorced. Anyway, so they're divorced, but remember she posted pictures of him with his hands upon the titties of a woman that wasn't her in their shared kitchen. And then he did his live after not have going live for a very long time. And remember, we played it over here on LRGA Curves. Thanks for coming through. Smash those buttons. Share this video out. Tell a friend about us, you guys. We have lots of fun over here. We're 30 away from 3K. So please, please, please tell a friend or 8 so we can reach our goals. I'm so excited. I'm super excited all the time. And I'm super excited about this milestone upon the horizon of my foreseeable future. And I'm saying that by the end of June, we'll be to 3K. Okay, it can happen today. It could literally happen today. I'm vibing. Are you vibing? I'm vibing. However, I need us to vibe together. And you tell somebody, tap the screen. I think if we tap the screen, it gets people in here or something. But, okay. Security is good. I go to work at 2, get off at 10. Okay. Okay, so, you guys, when we were live here the other day, we listened to Apollo, who I was just reminding us, he's been in at least the social media news. I mean, I don't even watch CNN, ABC, CBS. I don't watch any of the corporate tease types of news. I am and have been of the mind that those are not the most forthright places to be, getting our sources, because I feel like any source that spoon feeds masses might need to be researched further for full context or whatever it is. So why not just come to the other sources that are like boots on the ground? The ones that are boots on the ground, like these podcasters, the freaking YouTube street content creators who know for real what's going on, and yeah, that's kind of like where you get the sources, right? So Apollo was on Any Second podcast. Remember, we played it over here. We fast forwarded it, but we played it. And it was a good interview. And we got so many nuggets. We found out that Phaedra pulled over the first time they saw each other after high school and went straight to her house and he hit it. And yeah. And then how she and the rest of the family dropped him and left him high and dry while he was in prison. And then also while he was in prison, Shireen, who he just divorced, came to him and was like, do you know so-and-so? And he says that he broke down crying and was like, yeah, I know her. And she was like, well, did you know you have a son with her? And Apollo said he just knew it was true. He just knew it was true. So while he was in jail, after we met him on Real Housewives of Atlanta, after Shireen came to Candy's old lady gang restaurant and said one person's trash is another person's treasure, remember that? And she had during that time, she is in Shireen, had during that time gone to Apollo in the big house, not the White House, which it could be the big house now with, he actually had 88 counts, got found guilty on 34. But yeah, so the big house. And he was confronted by Shireen after already being caught up, asking women for provocative pictures for his celly. He said he was doing it for for the cause. He was taking one for the team. He was like only into Shireen and asking girls to send him pics, but not for him, for his celly. So Shireen found out about it because Apollo alleges in the interview with Any Second, in the podcast, rather, with Any Second, that the guards, since you don't get to seal anything, switched the letters. And he had an outgoing letter to Shireen talking about, baby, I love you. And he had an outgoing letter to the other girl talking about, can you send me more pics? And he properly addressed the envelopes, duh. He's been doing it forever. He alleges that the freaking guards were hella shady and they switched it, sealed it, and sent it to the prospective others. So then, are you going out of here, Milo? You want to go out? No problem. Just a second, you guys. Right on. So then, Shireen comes right up to the big house and it's like, fool, you've been asking, she was like, how you doing? And he's like, good. And she's like, get your pictures? And he's like, what pictures? And she's like, the pictures you've been asking so-and-so for, da-da-da-da-da, went off on him. And he was like, whoa, baby. That was for my celly. I would never. I got all of this. Look at you. Like, he smoothed it over. So then she was hot. She was hot. So then I don't know, in the interview, we need to go back to Any Second, but we kind of fast forwarded through everything, right? Because also in that story, he says that Shireen tells him that he has a son. And he just knew it was true. And then he says, oh, did you ever meet the son? And Apollo says to the guy on the podcast, oh, yeah, I'm talking to him right now. And the podcast guy says, talking to him right now? He's like, yeah, you're him. And he's like, I'm him. And he turns and he said, why didn't anybody tell me I was going to be interviewing my dad today? You guys. So this dude right here, who when we listened to it and we looked at the video the other day on here on LRGA Curves, we looked at the video and we were like, oh, they kind of like have a similar physique. They kind of have a similar face and their demeanor energy was kind of similar. And so you guys, hi. So you guys, so this is Terry Cripp, Apollo's long lost son. You guys, this is Terry Cripp, Apollo's long lost son. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? Terry Cripp is Apollo's long lost adult son. And the other day when we listened to the thing, we totally fast forwarded or not paid attention. Maybe I started talking after he said the story about how he had a son. I do remember starting to talk. And had I STFU'd or rewound or something, the next part of the story was, oh yeah. And I'm talking to him. You guys, isn't that crazy? So now they dropped a video where they're both working out, father-son workout. That's what's up. And but yeah. Ta-da! Terry Cripp, Apollo, DNA. Okay. And he's straight putting his son on game. Got his podcast kicked off, making workout videos. You know what I'm saying? They're focused. They're locked in on this. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. How do you guys feel about that? Like, I like that he is putting his son on and helping him immediately. Like, you know, how can I help you? His son wants to have a freaking podcast. Well, let me be your first guest. Let me put you on. And Apollo's been like posting clips of it like back to back to back. I keep getting the thing. I need to turn it off. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't like getting that many dings. Look, I got my nerve because I'm a freaking, I equivalent rage. It's almost rage, but it's more like my ADDHYQ. I, yeah, because I'm interested. Is that an I? Anyway, so yeah, I post a lot too. So you might want to mute my notifications, but have them on so that you do get notified. But sometimes, yeah, remember the person that used to email you way too much? Her. Yes, Veranda. Thanks for coming through. Veranda. Right on. Thanks for coming through. Yeah, aren't you happy for them? Isn't that incredible? So let's take a listen to Apollo and his son in their interaction. Now let me see. Interaction.
He didn't break down crying. Like, I think he was maybe a little emotional, but he was holding it together. I don't know what he was going through, but I'm sure he was definitely, there was a lot of things going on, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so you see this kid, you talk to this kid, you see him, do y'all still speak to this day? What's the communication like all the way up to this point?
Oh yeah, we're locked in.
You're locked in?
Oh yeah, me and him is locked in.
We don't see this guy anywhere. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we're locked in, like two peas in a pod. So it's cool though, because like when I came home, we build the bond, you know, right? So we're doing all that stuff, talking on the phone every day, whatnot. Sometimes there's a disconnect. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just because you don't like us, but I mean, we're locked in. We're pretty locked in, man.
So you call his name right now?
Oh yeah, right now.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. So with all of that going on, it's a lot of moving pieces. When's the last time you spoke to this person?
Well, I mean, you really want to know?
Yeah, no, like for real. That's all.
I'm speaking to him right now.
What you mean?
I'm speaking. You're the guy. Yeah.
What you mean?
You're the guy.
You want nobody gonna tell me I'm interviewing my father today?
Man.
You know what I'm gonna say that? What you mean? Yeah, it's just like that. Yeah, sounds good. You're speaking to him right now.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for reaching out.
Absolutely. It had to be done.
Definitely.
It's been a hell of a process, right? A hell of a process.
Crazy process.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot on your plate. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, and we have a lot of answers for you. So, you guys stay tuned. And until next time, y'all stay up. Y'all be great.
You guys.
You're telling me, so you see him and you
I'm going to let it play
Is
again.
she emotional as well?
You guys, isn't that fabulous? I love a reunion story. Remember on shows like Oprah Winfrey, Sally Jesse Raphael, Phil Donahue, when they would have those reunion stories and they would fly the person in and they would be like, well, guess who's here for you today? Remember? This is like so touching, so beautiful. I love, it's like, you know, like how, like, honestly, because as much as going on in the world, I feel like there's a shifting happening, and the reunification of like a father-son bond as opposed to being torn up, and for them to be able to come together now as Black men and make it happen and, you know, move forward with each other and each other's life and create family now, you know, in spite of the separation that may have happened. Let all of that go and just step into the now of being father and son. I totally respect that. And I totally love that they're, you know, doing this. And that was a cute little skit, huh? I'm speaking to him right now. That was a wonderful introduction. And I did not listen to it all the way to the end. So yeah, I totally remember not listening. And I literally was like, oh, you guys can go finish listening to it. Like with like 6 minutes left or something like that. So yeah, who's this? Oh, hey, Faku. Ah, that's a funny name. That's a funny name. So do you like leave messages all over the place? You call and you're like, oh yeah. They're like, may I say who's calling? And you're like, oh yeah, PHOQUE, and they're like, how do you spell that? How do you pronounce that? And you're like, oh, Puck. And then they're like, oh, and then you're like HU, and they're like, oh, fuck you, and then you're like, yeah, but it's like literally your name. I get it. That's funny. Especially when reservation. Yes, that's hilarious. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to call your name hilarious, but I love it. I love it. Even if it's just like your made up name in here, I love the creativity of getting one in. You know what I'm saying? So let's listen again to the fabulosity of family reunification. And like I'm telling you, this is the equivalent to Oprah flying somebody in, Sally Jesse saying, and look who's here. Like this is totally feels and chills and highs. So this is in the high category. Let's
He
go.
can break down crying. Like, I think he was maybe a little emotional, but he was holding it together. I don't know what he was going through, but I'm sure he was definitely, there was a lot of things going on, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so you see this kid, you talk to this kid, you see him, do y'all still speak to this day? What's the communication like all the way up to this point?
Oh yeah, we're locked in.
You're locked in?
Oh yeah, me and him is locked in.
We don't see this guy anywhere. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we're locked in, like two peas in a pod. So it's cool though, because like when I came home, because I actually we build the bond, right? So we're doing all that stuff, talking on the phone every day, whatnot. Sometimes there's a disconnect. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just because life goes by. I mean, we're locked in. We're pretty locked in there.
So you call this man right now?
Oh yeah, right now.
Well, for the point.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So with all of that going on, it's a lot of moving pieces. When's the last time you spoke to this person?
Well, I mean, you really want to?
Yeah, no, like for real.
I was speaking to him right now.
What you mean?
I was speaking.
What you mean?
You're the guy.
You know nobody gonna tell me I'm interviewing my father today?
Oh.
Y'all wasn't gonna say that? What you mean? It's just like that. That's how it's done. You're speaking to him.
Every time I look at it, I just get so happy, you guys.
Thanks for reaching.
I'm such a softie.
It had to be done.
Like for real.
It's been a hell of a process, right? A hell of a process. Crazy process.
For real.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot on your plate. I'm sure you guys
Yeah,
have
it's a lot on our
questions.
plate,
And a lot of
Terry.
questions. So, you guys stay tuned.
Terry.
And until next time, y'all stay up. Y'all be great.
So that is, if we did a search, we're just real quick. Fuck you saying that he got this name from an old shock jock radio host, Bubba the Love Sponge. That's funny. That is funny. What's good, Q27? And how have you been? Right on. Isn't that such a beautiful story? I love it. I was thinking the other day about Wolfman Jack. He was like the original, to me anyway. I'm gonna have to read. Wolfman Jack predates Love Sponge, right? Yeah, because Wolfman Jack wouldn't have been able to get away with any fuck yous, no matter how they were spelled. Don't forget, you get a car, and you get a car, right? Exactly. Freaking Oprah. She would reunite them and then give them cars. You are so right about that. Or reunite them and there would be a cute house waiting, and she would have her friend Nate have redecorated their house. Remember all that? So where was I going to go? So if we go to Apollo's page, look, he just posted this. Oh, let me mute it. I don't have the rights to this music. It's not gonna, but him and his son are working out. You guys can't see it, but they're taking turns doing push-ups and chin-ups. Look, it's the only one you can't see because it's the way that it's black. But then he has all these clips from the interview with his son on his page. Isn't that sweet? So, regardless, I feel like go support freaking Apollo and his reunification with his son. Hopefully they'll be able to. And then he has the link straight to his son's podcast. And the other day when we looked at it, remember he had 24 subscribers. Was it 24? Was it 24? It was like 24 or 74 the day we were here when we came through the first day. I'm pretty sure it was more like 24. It was like really low. And the video had like 100 views or something like that. And I mean, it's in the video that we showed. Bianca Edwards, thanks for coming through. Happy Thursday, beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Happy Friday Eve. Happy Friday Eve. Yeah, you guys, thanks for coming in. Bianca, did you see? Bianca, did you see that Apollo's long lost son is this guy? Did you see that? Remember we were watching the video the other day of them talking on the podcast, and he said that Shireen came to him in jail and said that he had a long lost son. He had said that he broke down crying. And then I was like, oh, well, you can go finish watching the thing on Any Second Podcast. At the end of the video, the very, 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 very end, he says, well, so about you and your son, like, did you guys ever, what was that like? So in the very last moments of the podcast, he's like, I'm talking to him right now. And the guy says, who? He says, it's you. He said, it's me? He said, yeah. Then he turns and he says, why didn't somebody tell me I was interviewing my dad today? And then they were like, they love each other. And then now they're posting workout videos together. Because remember, we had said they're aesthetic. You were here, girl. We were like, oh, they kind of favor. Look at that. They look alike and everything. Because that's his long lost son, Terry Cripp. Terry Cripp, Apollo Nida's long lost grown son, y'all. Any Second Podcast. Check it out. Give him a like and a sub. There's only one video. They want to elevate mindset, become greatness versions of ourselves. What else does it say? That's it. Yep. And isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's why he's so handsome. Yep, I did say that. I was like, they look alike. But I can make anybody some. I can make them two look alike if I look like the. You have to like kind of squint. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing that. I am. So you want me to, I can play it one more time. It only takes a second. It'll take a second. I'm going to play it one more time for us. I'll play it one more time. Here we go. Here I go, here I go, here I go.
Is he emotional as well? He didn't break down crying. Like, I think he was maybe a little emotional, but he was holding it together. I don't know what he was going through, but I'm sure he was definitely, there was a lot of things going on, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so you see this kid, you talk to this kid, you see him, do y'all still speak to this day? What's the communication like all the way up to this point?
Oh yeah, we're locked in.
You're locked in?
Oh yeah, me and him is locked in.
We don't see this guy anywhere. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, we're locked in, like two peas in a pod. So it's cool though, because like when I came home, we build the bond, you know, right? So we're doing all that stuff, talking on the phone every day, whatnot. Sometimes there's a disconnect. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's just because life goes by. I mean, we're locked in. We're pretty locked in, man.
So you call this man right now?
Oh yeah, right now.
Well, for the point.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So with all of that going on, it's a lot of moving pieces. When's the last time you spoke to this person?
Well, I mean, you really want to know?
Yeah, no, like for real.
I'm speaking to him right now.
What you mean?
I'm speaking. You're the guy.
What you mean?
You're the guy.
You don't know nobody gonna tell me I'm interviewing my father today?
Man.
You know what I'm saying? What you mean? Yeah, it's just like that. That's how it's done. You're speaking to him right now.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
You're doing good.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for reaching out.
Absolutely. It had to be done.
Definitely.
It's been a hell of a process, right? A hell of a process.
Crazy process.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a lot on your plate. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, and we have a lot of answers for you. So, you guys stay tuned. And until next time, y'all stay up. Y'all be great.
Isn't that the sweetest? The sweetest thing I've ever known. Oh, it's like kisses on a collarbone. Woo! Oh, yay for love. Yay for love and family. Yay for creating a bond and Yay for connection. I just love it. I just love it. And to find out that they were like so similar this whole time and everything. Obviously, they're so similar. So, but Apollo, for him to be blowing up everybody's spot, he sure can hold water. As it turns out, Apollo Nida can hold water, y'all. Because look, he been on Married to Medicine. He been on some kind of boot camp thing. He been on the Housewives. He been on all the shows, and he's never spilled, and he been out for a while. He been out for a while. It's been over a decade, right? Has it been a decade since he's been home? He held water about his son for a decade, you guys. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it. 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 Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's one high. And then we have another high. You want to see another? The next high is Riley. She wasn't on the thumbnail, but she is a high because The Next Generation premiered, and I watched it, you guys.
I switched up a bit.
I don't know if I'm their demographic.
The Real Housewives together.
I don't know if I'm their demographic, but I was watching it. And I watched The Next Generation. The introduction for the kids was cute. And Riley came, and it ended with this one girl, Georgia, admitting that she doesn't wash her hands. And Riley kind of being like, well, I don't really want to hug you. Like, I literally just found out you don't wash your hands after you touch the bottoms of shoes. And then the girl got high-key offended that somebody didn't want to share her bionorms that she had curated in her hemisphere, right? Like, she was like, oh yeah, I totally think germs are great. Like, but those are your germs, lady. Like, and I'm with Riley. I'm like, hey, look, there's a lot of stuff going around. Like, you're not sure what'll stick to somebody else and not stick to somebody else. So Riley was like, I'm cool on a hug now that I literally just watched you not wash your hands. Like, I'm like that too. I don't play the booger game. I don't play the spit game. I don't play bodily fluids like that. Like, keep all that stuff. Yuck. Like, yuck. Like, I'm just not, that's not a way to play to me, And like, it's just nasty. Just wash your hands. What the fuck is wrong with washing your hands? That is gross. Wash your freaking hands. Everybody's freaking pussy hairs touch their hands when they wipe. That has happened to every woman before. Anybody who's not bald down there, your pussy hairs have touched your hand before when you've wiped. You should wash your hands. That's disgusting. Why not wash your hands? And if you're not going to wash your hands and be proud and tell people, then don't be offended when somebody doesn't want to touch you. Like, because then I'm going to be looking for the smell to match the nasty that I just found. And I don't want to. I don't want to hug you and imagine is that what that smell was. Or do I smell something seeping through? Or like, what else don't you wash? If like, you don't wash your fucking hands when you're in a public restroom at that. So even if you don't care about your germs, like you're touching a doorknob where there's like probably a million other people that just felt the same way that you are, and it's probably just as nasty as you are, and they didn't wash their hands before they touched that doorknob too. And now you're going to use that hand that touched the doorknob to go wipe your cooter, and then you're gonna touch the doorknob, and everybody has to touch that doorknob, ma'am. That's nasty. And excuse me, while then the audacity for her to be like, my body, my choice. Riley's making it da da da. No, it's Riley's body, Riley's choice to not interact with your germs on your biosphere. I thought that was it. Did you see that? Oh, sometimes the pee will go through the tissue. Yes, it's disgusting. And she's a young girl. So you know she still gets her flow. And how many things have happened on your flow that you're like, damn, I didn't expect that to get there. And you're not washing hands, bitch? That's nasty. That's nasty. That's disgusting. That is so... And proud. Yeah, nobody in my family watched. I would not be running around telling people that just because it sounds so gross. And then she was combing her hair with a fork. Did you see that shit? Did you see it? She was combing her hair with a fork, saying she doesn't wash her hands. Okay, this is going to be an entertaining show. We can tell. So back to the highs. We're going to get on some Riley. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Fair use is made for purposes such as commenting, research, criticism, teaching, and something else. And it tips in the balance of their use for personal and nonprofit. So this is copyright. I'm going to speed it up. Riley's looking ever so. Now I dig Riley's aesthetic. I think she's grown into a beautiful young woman, and I like that. I feel like her hair is hers and she's not afraid to wear it. And that takes a lot of nerve to be like your total self in a world of silky straights. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like everybody conforms to silky straight. And so to see Riley start off with like her fro is so beautiful and it's so cute. I love it. So let's watch some Riley on page 6. Riley Burris dishes all things next gen NYC virtual reality. Sped it up. Copyright disclaimer again. Let's go.
In the waiting period for it to premiere, is that anxiety? Is that excitement? Like all the things?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely felt anxiety for the past, however many months, and I'm really nervous, but I'm also excited because this is new, this is fresh, so I don't really know how I feel. I'm feeling all the things.
Okay. Two questions, because is there a cast group chat, and if so, how are we feeling leading up to premiere?
Yeah, there's a cast group chat, and everyone just always sends random things, and they're like, oh, wow, like, this is how we look, like, So it's really just us sitting in different things and just laughing.
And it's the entire cast group chat?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are several, but...
Okay. But how do we feel about Charlie?
I think our friendship has evolved because me and him actually used to be like pretty cool friends. So I think with everything and the different dynamics of the show, I think the dynamic kind of switched up a bit.
So excited to see the kids of the Real Housewives together on one show. We have you, Berth Marks, Gia Giudice, and Ariana Bierman.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I cannot wait, because in the premiere we don't get it, you and Ariana together, but I'm excited to see you and Ariana reunite. Given the history that your moms have on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, how did you feel going into filming a show that also included Ariana, given history?
I mean, originally I was a little bit nervous because I hadn't seen her since we were both kids, but I think our parents were both very supportive of us being friends again because, we're both from Atlanta, we both have connection, so it was really nice connecting again.
Now, I know you didn't watch the first episode. There's a lot, Ariana is opening up a lot about how Kim kind of took all of her money.
Oh.
So and she's opening up a lot about the money woes, and of course, reading the news about the Biermans of late, we know they're going through it. I didn't realize how in the weeds Ariana is about that. Were you hearing her opening up more about that? How was it a shock to you, or did you know that already?
It was a shock to me as well. I feel for her, I feel like that's a terrible situation to have to go through as a child, but I think she's doing great in the city. She always wanted to live here, so I'm glad she's been able to, what even happened.
Now,
if you don't know where to start and talk.
So if you didn't watch the premiere of that show, Ariana Bieberman, Kim Zolciak's daughter, is on the show Next Generation. And in her intro package, she talks about her money woes and how since she was a teenager, she was basically an influencer and getting paid lots of money as a kid to post 3 times a week. And that her mom and Croy took all the money and she don't have no money left over from all this money she got as working as a kid, and that Kim to this day calls her for money. And there's even footage, there's even like going to be a scene where she's calling asking for money of her youngest daughter. And as it turns out, her youngest daughter also dates like basically the guy who's the son of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's somebody called Zacky's or Wacky's Chicken or something like that. And he's like the grandson of, or the son of like the Wacky's Chicken Empire people. And so he has hella money. But they want to Ariana wants to rough it in the city.
Laugh all the time, have fun relationship. So me and him would never, beef.
No, I know you guys, but I mean, the cast is a lot of people in the group chat.
Well, I guess like from the premiere episode, he explains that he is uncomfortable with confrontation, and he and Charlie have a little bit of...
Since Brooks is friends with all of us, it's really easy for there not to be that disconnect.
But now there's a disconnect about people who wash their hands and
Oh,
Yeah.
girl, yeah.
I try to stay out of that because I do view them both.
Hey,
as
Dina.
with Ariana, but I really try to stay out of that tension because I don't want any issues either.
Yeah. Is it hard to play peacemaker on a reality show?
Of course, I think it's hard because you want to be friends with everyone, but you don't want to take sides. But then sometimes you have to, and even you might take the side of someone who you're not typically friends with. Yeah. Similar to my mom, so I think people are going to be surprised at how I am.
Do we see you date on the show?
No.
No, is that by design or do this? Dating's not in your mindset.
I'm like, oh, you're going to have to wait a really long time.
You're like, you can come up with you're like,
Yeah.
this all the time.
Yeah.
She must be so proud.
Because this is a new show, she's trying to kind of give me my space to learn it myself, but also whenever I'm getting a little bit too stressed, I call her and she's like, okay, Riley, here's my advice, here's what happened when I was doing it, take this as you may.
Seeing you do reality TV and checking in with her, does it kind of make her want to get back into the mix again? Because we miss her on Atlanta. I don't know if you've been keeping up with Atlanta, but it's kind of nice. And we could use her on the show.
I think she's just so busy because she... That one, and of course, No Scrubs. Those are my two favorites.
It just, No Scrubs never gets old. It doesn't matter who's singing it, who's covering it, just anytime you hear it, instant movies.
Even when it's like karaoke and no one's sitting in the middle, like, it's so fun.
So you guys, that was another high with Riley Burris for Next Generation. It was cute watching the children of some of our favorite Bravo celebrities come together in New York City and make it. It's kind of like, what was that show that Tammy Roman was on? Real World Celebrity Kid Edition. They should have put them up in the same house. That's what they should have done. They should have put them up in the same house for a whole summer in New York City and let them go out and get their shit together from the house. Done a real world format on the show where they actually had to live and do their talents from maybe a penthouse in the city. That would have been a great format. I do also like how it does show their individualized lives, but I feel like that could have been an even better show because, I don't know, just some of the old with the new, Anyway, so that was another high. Thanks for coming in LRGA Curves today. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring my bell. That's enough. Okay, so we did Apollo High. We did Next Gen High. Next on the list is Bye. 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 No. Bye-bye. No. Bye-bye. Remember that there used to be a joke about how stewardesses say goodbye when you're getting off the plane? Bye. Bye-bye. 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 So this is the bye. We're going to start with Sweet Tea. You guys know that Sweet Tea has left the building. There'll be no more Sweet Tea on Married to Medicine, you guys. She said they won't have me to kick around anymore. No more, I tell you, I say. However, those who know and who watch the show and who were actually paying attention on Married to Medicine may have noticed that not only did Sweet Tea come to play, she was with the shits. And she was like an active participant of the shits. She was an active participant of the shits. She was not a victim of the shits. She was an active participant of the shits. And she had so many thoughts and so much to say that was kind of high key disrespectful of her, older, wiser cohorts, where she like demanded that they respect her on a level that she wasn't willing to recognize or give them respect on, in my humble opinion. At least as a viewer, it felt like she was like in her defensiveness of being the youngest one, of feeling that like, proverbial divide in communication of the generations that she might have been experiencing. In all of that, she got very defensive. And in her defense, she lashed out and reacted a lot. And then she would be like, oh, what happened? But she totally reacted and lashed out a lot. That's what the fuck happened. And sometimes it was in advance. Sometimes it was after. A lot of people feel like they used her. And, I'm still like, check with her husband. Check with her husband. Because he knew what the show was like. And he still let her on the lot. So, yeah. So I'm just like, interesting. That she can blame people who she says got her on the show, but weren't responsible for getting her on the show. And I don't know, it just feels like and felt like to me that Sweet Tea had a lot of the call is coming from inside the house. If you feel like you can't get pregnant on a show, you can't look at like a Dr. Heavenly and be like, oh, it's Dr. Heavenly's fault that I'm stressed on this show. If you're on the show, like it's the same with, it's kind of like the Leah McSweeney of it all. It's like if you have an addiction problem, including alcohol, then how is it your job's fault that you took a job where they served alcohol for free? And there's not going to be anybody there to slap a drink out of your hand. That's not nobody, there's no drink slappers on set. And you take a job knowing that you're having an addiction problem with alcohol and then sue them because there was drinks on set that you drank. That's what I feel like is happening with Leah McSweeney. It's crazy. And she gets to sue for discrimination of all things, which they didn't let Nene sue. I can go back and forth about that. But anyway, it's just a lot sometimes when we get these types of reality stars where it's like, really? This is what we're doing? Like, we saw you. Like, you did not have a Harry Potter invisible cloak on, bitch. We saw you. We really saw you. You did that. You showed your ass. You chased that lady. You said those words. You did that action. You said those things on your YouTube. You participated in the shits actively in the shits. So whatever happened, happened. And we found out that she left the show. We already knew. Well, I saw the writing on the wall. She was doing way too much jaw jacking to the wrong people, and trying to get other people fired. Look, that's not what we do over here. They did that once with Mariah, and they didn't even do it. Production was done with Mariah. And then they tried to do it with Quad, and you see how the network responded with them trying to do that to Quad. Quad is still on the show. So they don't like when you try to actively get people just like fired, And it was a lot of talk about, she was talking about suing people and getting her stuff together, acting like she would like had, Nene Leaks type doc. Let you listen to this podcast. Over here on Amir, we're going to fast forward it again with the copyright disclaimer, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Yada, yada, yada. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Finally got to the chat. Dropping the link. And this is going to be the link for... That's for one thing that I showed. And this is the link for any second podcast where Apollo's son is. And this is what we're listening to right now with Sweet and Sour. Okay. Here it comes. And I'm just still like, she's sounding a little salty still. This is that Amir? I haven't seen Amir in so long. Oh my gosh. This guy used to be around a lot more. I kind of remember him like at the beginning of the demic when I first got introduced real heavy to the YouTube streets for things other than music videos and instructional videos when there was no entertainment, and we kind of all found ourselves on and we all kind of found ourselves on YouTube. Remember, that's how I even came to create a curvy channel and start my YouTube channels, because I had time, you know. So yeah, there's that. So look, this is that Amir. Look, can I get this big? Remember him? Remember this guy? Anybody else? Amir Yas? Anybody? I totally remember his face, and he was a content creator, but then he fell off. And this is his channel. I could swear he used to already have a channel, but this looks like he's starting all over. He has a blue check. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe. Not sure. I totally remember him. So let's listen to it. Is this the Monica? Is this that Monica, you guys? Can you see? Is this the avatar Monica from that all that kerfuffle? Remember that original kerfuffle? Can somebody tell me, please? Is this that Monica? Remember all that avatar and everybody fell out, and that's how we got Gabor's channel and Spill It Boy TV, and like, weren't there like several? No, not Spill It Boy, but damn, who else was that? There was like a whole group of people that used to go on this lady's YouTube channel, and they called her the Avatar. And remember, is that her? Oh my God. So she's with Amir. And this is Letitia up here with no avatar. So we're going to put this on fast forward. Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, it's already on 1.5. Okay, let's listen.
For what it is, the show was the show. Pretty much I felt like that some ladies, they're users. They don't have anything else going on. I mean, look at the stories that they tell. It's just a bunch of ignorant stuff. And so it's like, we've gotten away from the vision of what marriage medicine used to be. And I've had these conversations before prior with Mariah, and it's not a vision. And so, it was a little bittersweet. They say third season, you get a little bit extra money or whatever. But I pretty much was told, like, hey, let me know if, basically I felt like it was like, let me know if anything happened in your life, anything else happened in your life. We're going to, we'll consider you again. You know what I'm saying? Basically is how I felt. But I already was debating on that because I was like, whenever I do get pregnant, I would feel guilty of doing the show and all the negativity that comes with that, because they say you carry a lot of stress in your womb, and so I would feel guilty putting that on my child. And so, but when they told me that, I was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I really was like, I felt some that way, but then again, I felt like, okay, everything happens for a reason. I'm not gonna cry over spilled milk, and there's more for me. And I felt like I had outgrown those people already. Even when it comes down, even when it came down to some of the other ladies, Jackie and stuff like that, I felt like I had outgrown them mentally. Because at this point, like, okay, we get y'all for the show. Y'all gonna do the ignorant shit. You gonna do all that kind of stuff, and then you gonna move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just there for the check. Like, it's not even really about really building relationships. And I look back on it. Basically, yes, I validated myself. Like, I was used. And they try to pull in and say that my husband used me and he got on the show to get back at his ex, and it had nothing to do with that. Like, we were encouraged by the producers, by some of the cast, to be on the show, to the point where it was like, okay, let's just try it out. And I mean, we were approached multiple times and called, and I have messages to even prove that. But people trying to make it something that it really was not. And so, do I think that some of them are users? I still, yes, but I do feel I do have a connection. I do talk to Phaedra. We still talk. I still talk to Contessa. I'm like cordial with Simone. We're decent. But the rest of them, I don't fuck with them.
Oh, good.
I don't fuck with them, and I don't support anything that they do.
Good. I love it. I love seeing you laugh because you've taken a lot of shit, and I'm like, good. You should start kind of fighting back with it.
Yes, and I've always kind of been like this. Like, once you show me who you are, I'm very vocal, and so I felt like at times that I was like, they tried to silence me a lot of the times. And I'm like, no, I'm not going for the BS. Like, I don't care whether you are a doctor and all that. None of that means anything. I mean, I fought along the lines with doctors, being in the Air Force. I've been along the lines with them. So it's like, it's not nothing new to me. And I've always been in the medical field. I was from second in the Air Force. I worked in medical billing. Like, I know a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot more than what people think. And so, I don't go for ignorance. And so when I was calling people out for ignorance, whether they wear a white coat or not, I was going to throw paint on your ass. Because they know that just because you got that white coat on don't mean that you know it all, because I'm gonna hold you accountable. Because at the same time, when you put on that white coat, you're supposed to have you raise your right hand, you have an oath, you have a certain ethics that you need to be able to follow. And but when I saw all that was not really what it was, and it's just all about being on TV, and when they value more of that than being on TV than actually being an actual doctor, I was very disappointed. And so for some of them, I would never support anything that they do.
I don't blame you. I mean, they're known as ratchet doctors, so that white coat don't mean much on that show.
It don't mean a damn thing. Like, anybody that gets on the goddamn YouTube every week to talk shit about somebody's medical condition, like, I mean, I would never go to that person. And anybody that's going to them, I mean, I'm looking at them really weird sideways.
Looking at you sideways. I mean, she is. Is that really a doctor?
Right, but like.
So you guys, do you hear it? Do you hear it? We're gonna keep listening because I hadn't really listened to it all. I was kind of doing this reaction with you guys also, but to me it sounded like sour tea. She's very sour, totally ungrateful, still totally missing a grateful train, totally sounds bothered and affected by an excellent opportunity to change her life and her child's life too, honestly, now that they're doing next gen stuff. Can you imagine when the Babies of Bravo happens? She could have totally been part of that, but because she was actively participating in the shits, she was stressed. If she wouldn't have been actively participating in the shits in a negative manner, she wouldn't have been stressed. What was there to be stressed about? She kept making mountains out of molehills. Why were you so mad at Dr. Heavenly for saying, are you sure you should get married so fast? Why was that a problem? You were yelling at the top of your lungs about having to come up with, like, what was it, $14,000 more because they had to change the venue? And that's Dr. Heavenly's fault that she noticed that you were upset in that moment. That, what? I just don't, it's a lot. A lot. And the white coats, so only her doctor's white coats meant something? Because for her to act like Dr. G is better than any of the other doctors, when none of the other doctors have dragged their wives across the floor and tried to suffocate them, but her doctor's the best doctor, but all the other white coats are a joke. Please. It's like Drew Sidora's hit, Delulu. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Let's keep listening to a lot.
Yeah, take away from her accolades. She really is a doctor, right? They go to medical school.
They do.
It's just, I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't like her.
How much time?
I just don't get it. I don't get her.
Yeah, but I just, after a while, I just felt like I'm a lot more mature, and I'm not willing to sell my soul for TV, and I think that's what it boiled down to. I'm just not willing to do it. I'm doing well financially in my life on my own, and even while on the show, I work my job full time. Me working in the government sector, I've always been able to maintain my own, and I knew other people on that show needed it more than I did, and it's more about the fame, and so I'm not willing to kiss ass.
What the fuck is she talking about, you guys? Other people on the show, so other doctors with thriving businesses for over 20 years were in such financial straits. I'm plugging this in, sorry for any. We're in such financial straits. Let me get this straight. So other doctors, did she just fucking say, really, bitch? I'm already with the really, bitch. Which I need to drop that link also. I have it ready to go. Because I'm like, other doctors needed the check, so she stepped aside let's close that. We can close that. So she stepped aside. Milo, relax. Kelsey, what's good? Thanks for coming back. I told you guys I was going to make those really bitch shirts. I did. And I think they're cute. I just dropped the link so you can get your really bitch merch. FYI. Milo. Milo. Relax it. Yeah, I'm going to update some colors in there too. You lost your... No, I'm sorry, Kelsey. Oh my God. Cyber hugs, condolences. Oh. Well, the Angel crew got a good one. Love your mom. Oh my gosh. That is such a big, gigantic, gaping hole of loneliness and sadness. I understand. The emptiness is just like, and having to like retrain yourself out of the habits of communicating with them the way we used to and stuff like that. It's so freaking, it's a lot. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you. It's going to be okay. It's going to take a long, long time, but you'll be able to like transmute the pain and kind of like absorb it in a way that can fuel you. You know what I mean? Milo, like you're doing a lot of that. You're doing a lot. Those are a lot of words, Milo. I know. What's happening? Can you relax? There's nothing. Look, I hope that. Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. And I don't even have, like, it's like there's nothing anybody can say. I understand that because I understand. And yet, there is no preparation either, but I want to keep it totally real. Like, yeah, it's just going to be a lot for a minute. And yeah, you were lucky. So, yeah, everybody, can we put a purple heart for Kelsey's mom in the chat, please? For Moms in Heavens? Yes. Right on. Right on. Where's my purple heart? Purple. That's for moms. Okay. Okay. Love you guys. But I'm like, did she just say what we heard her say, which is she stepped aside so they could have the money because she makes enough at the government job? You mean the one that you have to write an essay every week to tell them how much you love MAGA in order to keep your job as a government employee, that kind of job? Because they all got to do it. It doesn't matter your clearance or nothing, you guys. I know people who work in the federal government in Washington, D.C., and they are right now writing an essay a week talking about what you did this week in order to justify paying you and in order to justify your position. Regardless of clearance or department, everybody's on the block. Everybody had to show back up to work, drive to commute, to be in offices. That might be the real reason she left, is because you can't be in traffic and on screen at the same time. The 8th housewife does not want to film nothing at the government offices. Believe it. I'm just like, it's a lot. Okay, let's keep listening though. This is her reality.
For a check. I'm just not willing to do it. You can't get me to do it. And I just got too much pride and dignity for myself. And those that continue to do those kind of things, I do question them. But like Contessa, she's still on there, but like she know right from wrong though. Like she tries to hold people accountable, and I appreciate that. And I think that she's the one of the ones that may kind of be like kind of grandfathered in because she's lasted for so long. I think maybe this may have been maybe her 4th or 5th season maybe. But at one point, on my season, like they discarded Contessa for a while. They used her relationship for storyline, and they discarded Contessa. And so yeah, let's just say that people are users.
Absolutely.
Salty much?
I'm just speaking the truth, and I think that I've always been silenced and was like, at times like, oh, well, this is how this person is. I'm like, I understand that people are the way they are, but also give the new people a chance to be who they are. It's certain things. It's like, it's just basically kind of like a hazing thing that you go through, but also it's just that people make excuses for bad behavior. And you're like, well, that's just their character. That's just what they do. And I'm like, but you're not allowing the new people to come in and also show their character, but they're not going to go for what they do. So that's one thing that I had noticed, and I was like, especially like people that encourage and say, oh, make up with that person. It's just like, no, I'm not going to make up, and they're going to continue to do the same thing. What's the point? What's the point? They do the same thing, and then they don't never really make up, and then it's like, okay.
Because that's what we do on the show. You guys have conflict and then resolution, conflict, resolution, conflict, resolution. Where people lose people is conflict, dead horse. Conflict, another dead horse. Conflict, dead horse. The dead horse is when you don't let go of shit and you just carry it around the whole season after season, or even like for 3 or 4 episodes, and it's like we could have been over that and got onto a new conflict, but no, bitch. You still want to hold on to the 3 words that somebody else said when that was in reaction to what you said. Anyway.
You see a green screen, they're like, oh, I apologize to this person so many times, and then they never really did. So it's just like, it's weird.
But you know what? God orders your steps, and everything happens for a reason. And you're flourishing with or without that show. So listen.
I am, and I think you. I've been hanging out with a new group of ladies that I personally know, and I met them kind of on my own. And they're called the Doctors Wives of Atlanta. We started our own group together, and all of them. They're all, my friend Gabby. I actually met her at a Married to Medicine event, and she has her own clothing line. She's Simone, and she sells athleisure wear. And so she dropped that off to me, and at one of the events, and then we started talking. And I was like, she's really cool. She's from Detroit, and she's married to a doctor. And then another girl in my neighborhood. She's getting married. Her name is Kayla. She's a psychologist, but she's married to a psychiatrist. And another girl, she just moved here a couple months ago. Her name is Jen, and she just started with us. She's a commercial real estate. She does commercial real estate, and she's a mom and all that. And so she moved out here from Savannah, and so like we've gotten together and really started supporting each other. And I love the group because everybody's they're young, they're fresh. We're all kind of going through new stages in our lives, whether that be like marriage, businesses, starting a family. And and I love that I can lean on these ladies and say, like, they're sweet, they all want to make a difference in the community. Like we're already trying to look into doing philanthropy stuff. Like I'm trying to look into things that we can do.
Is it me, or did she just say that she outgrew Married to Medicine and now she's describing Married to Medicine? That she created with somebody who she met while at Married to Medicine? And I had said before, I was like, if I was Mariah or Bravo, I don't know how I would feel about her literally like jacking the idea concept of the show and going and taking it and making another version of it. Last night, you guys know the show Star Wars, the movie Star Wars, right? Classic, blockbuster hit, made in 1977. I remember me and my parents went to the drive-in at Oakland Coliseum Drive-In and saw it on the freaking drive-in movie theater screen. It was so cool, 1977. I would have been like 8. No, I would have been like, like 8. And I remember watching Star Wars. And that was a great original masterpiece, concept, filmography, everything. Yesterday, I was making some homemade honey butter biscuits for my boys. They love my honey butter biscuits, y'all. And so I make everything from scratch pretty much these days. So I was making some from scratch honey butter biscuits. All you need is 2 cups of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, a stick of butter grated in, frozen. Mush it together, add a 1/4 cup of milk, fold it over lightly, get it all incorporated. And then I just kind of formed biscuits. So it was kind of scone style instead of pressed, really. Bake at 375 for 12 minutes and then lower it to 325 and bake for another 10 minutes. And oh my God. Okay, so those are the biscuits, right? See how easy that was? So I was making some honey butter biscuits, and I was like, oh, let me let something play in the background. And this thing got suggested to me because I love sci-fi movies and otherworldly stuff. And so this movie, the Humanoid, came up as a suggestion. And I was like, oh, it said 1979. I was like, why, when I turned it on, was it a complete knockoff of Star Wars? Down to a Darth Vader with a mask you could see through. But it was the same shape, and he was in black outfit and everything. And they had like sabers, and then there was a Princess Leia looking one. But Darth Vader, it was hilarious, you guys, hilarious. The freaking obvious knockoff that was happening. But it wasn't even like full on satire. It wasn't like a Weird Al Yankovic kind of rendition where you know it's satire. It wasn't like Scream, the Wayans brother rendition where you know this is supposed to be funny. It was like they were really acting in a horrible version of Star Wars, like a horrible knockoff version of Star Wars. And so Married to Medicine on an established freaking network, established fan base, you know, the ideas there. They've done their philanthropy. They've done community building. They did a lot more pre-demic. They're picking it back up slow and steady, though. They do a lot of events with each other where they're building each other up. They show their families. They've, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot going on as far as like all the things that she, as in Sweet Tea, is now saying is about to happen on their new show, The Doctor's Wives. And I'm just like, I would kind of be high-key offended if somebody came on my shit, talked shit about it, and left, and then copied my shit. I would be hella mad. But I guess Mariah might still be salty too, because Mariah had them down to her content creation place, and they were doing boots on the ground dance like nothing to see here, folks, because maybe somebody saw my video about, look, I'm that vain. Somebody saw my little video asking the questions that everybody wants to know about how would Mariah feel about her intellectual property being stolen. But I guess since it was already stolen, she just gonna go with the next person that stole it and let us know that it's okay, that she totally supports Sweet Tea's new endeavor and had all the ladies from Doctor's Wives over to her content creating studio. And so we're gonna hear her talk about that too. I saw it in the clip.
Talk about doing a drag brunch. I want to dress up in drag and then donate the proceeds like into a organization, like a nonprofit. For mothers' mortality rates. You know, I would love to do something like that with them. And I was like, I've been looking at different things that we can get involved in, and they're all for it. All hands on deck.
Ooh, so fun! I would love to host that drag brunch.
And we just did the freaking Met Gala was for women's mortality. She copies everything, you guys. Everything. So she wants to do another fundraiser, but this time it's going to be for women and mortality and pregnancy. Didn't we just see that on the Met Gala? And she posted another thing on her YouTube the other day too, another sweet and savory thing with her and Dr. G on vacation. So I'm just like, I would love an original thought coming from her. I would dare somebody to prove to me an original thought from her.
Oh, that would be fun. Really? I mean, that would be I want to do it so bad. I want to do it so bad. Like I want to dress in the drag, and I want to perform because I'm a silly character.
I love that. We can definitely talk offline, and I have some friends that are drag queens too, so I can maybe ask them to drop in, and they have a lot of followers. We'll talk offline, and that's a really fun. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. Before we get to Atlanta's recap, guys, I just want to ask Sweet Tea one more question. When you found out about your exit from Married to Medicine, who was some Bravo lads that reached out to you? Anyone from the Bravo sphere or?
Neka, she was on Potomac. Nia has reached out to me, and we've talked. We're supposed to go out to lunch pretty soon, or do like maybe a coffee date, something, so we can chit chat. Some of the former Married to Medicine cast members, Phaedra definitely reached out to me to check in to see how I was doing. And then I recently spoke at a panel, Women's Expo, and I met Delicious London. She gave me a big hug, and she just gave me a big hug, and she was like, you're too good for that. That was my first time meeting her, and she's like, you're too good. It's good for that. Like, she's like, you're a strong woman, but like, no, sometimes certain things just don't serve well. Like she's like, I could stand it. Marla and I spoke to her on the panel, and she was really sweet. But I've had quite a few, from the former Married to Medicine cast members. Buffy, she reaches out, and she really just gave me some love. Like, girl, so fuck them.
We love Auntie Buffy.
Auntie Buffy, I love Buffy.
Bring it to the show.
Yes.
Rich, unbothered.
So pretty much all the people who are no longer associated with the show reached out. She didn't name anybody currently filming with Married to Medicine. Not even Dr. Simone. She didn't mention Dr. Simone's name. That's interesting because Dr. Simone was kneeling with her at the reunion. And interesting. But we already know. But NECA reaching out, the one season wonder who came in too hot. NECA. And then Mia Thornton, the freaking liar. Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's an interesting list.
Very hilarious. She's
She is. She really is. She's a good time. Contessa reached out to me. But after that, I have not heard from any of the actual cast. I have not heard from any of them.
good riddance.
Right, yeah. It just makes me look back on like the wedding and how they were wanting to come to the wedding and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of fake asses.
Oh my goodness, yeah, for sure. So shall we dive into this episode?
Yes.
Let's dive.
Let's dive right into it. That seems today we're covering The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 13.
So that was the buy and the why for Sweet and Sour. And we'll do one more buy real quick with go here. Thanks for coming to LRGA Curves. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button.
In an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. This book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st. In an era of misinformation,
So in addition to this announcement about her book, she announced that she quit the Democratic Party. Let's see. She quit the Democratic Party. She said once she became a normal citizen again, she realized that Americans should be willing to exercise the ability to think creatively and plan strategically. Okay, Milo. Relaxing. He's doing a lot. I already went and looked. Hey, Emmanuel. Me and Sebastian were on the phone last night talking about this news. We were shocked. The Biden White House was a mess. Yeah, I'm telling you guys. That's why we have what we have right now. Well, that was part of it. That was part of the plan. And I bet she saw firsthand. It was revealed to her. And she was like, I am not doing this shit again. And that's what I had realized early on in this election, particularly, was the need to jump out of that box. And I was over here encouraging us to vote in our best interest and not for a box. And hey, if we would have been given a different box to check, I might have checked it. But look, I was thinking outside the box personally. So yeah, she quit. What did she say? Yeah, it had to have been a mess. Jean-Pierre left. Jean-Pierre left. I wanted to see the did she say it was for personal reasons? Is this the whole thing?
I am the author of a new book that's coming out this fall called Independent. It's coming out on October 21st, so please, please do grab it. And the reason I wrote this book, coming out of the White House, you know, serving as White House press secretary was an honor and a privilege. But since I have left, the people that come up to me, strangers that come up to me just across the country as I'm traveling, and sometimes right in my neighborhood, at a grocery store, supermarket, airport, my daughter's school, the number one question they ask me is, Karine, how do we get out of this? How do we protect our democracy? How do we protect vulnerable communities among us? What do we do next? Because we don't have answers here. That's what they ask me. And this is my answer. And what I mean by that is, in an era of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. And here's the truth. And here's how I will lay it out to you. I think we need to stop thinking in boxes and think outside of our boxes and not be so partisan. And the way that I see moving forward in this space that we're in right now is, if you are willing to stand side by side with me, regardless of your how you identify politically, and as long as you respect the community that I belong to and vulnerable communities that I respect, I will be there with you. I will move forward with you. And that is, I think, so important. So this book, Independent, it's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance. And how do we move forward together in a compassionate way, in a way that really, truly cares about people? October 21st.
Okay. So she got the freedom to speak up. And hey, I'm with it. She's leaving the Democratic Party. What a way to tell him. Okay. Emmanuel says, I don't have a problem with people writing these books, but they better not pretend like they themselves weren't part of the cover. Exactly, Emmanuel. She better have a whole chapter on, and my ass did. That should be the name of her chapter. And my ass did. Don't write a tell-all without telling me y'all. Don't write a tell-all without telling me y'all. And my ass sat up at the freaking podium every week and acted like your questions were gobbledygook, and I didn't understand what the fuck you were asking me. That's what I did. And I knowingly told you guys I was part of the misinformation and disinformation. And that's why I recognize it, because having to be part of it forced me to try to find a way back into heaven, because I was part of an evil, maniacal machine of oppression, chaos, and lies. And in order for me to have any type of redemption, my chapter called This Is What the Fuck I Did, where I confess all that I've done and then move forward in a way that I'm trying to make it a better day for everybody that I fucked things up for by standing up there and lying to y'all for 4 years. Yeah, better have a chapter. Brendan Hall says, that's why we were, wait, That's why we are in this awful situation. There is no perfect candidate, Republicans nor Democrats, independent, or the perfect choice either. Everyone want to write a book on their views after they leave. Hey, look, as long as it's after they leave and before the next election, that's all I can say. Look, give me some research to do so that I can decide, do I need to leave the box too? I mean, I already decided. I freed my mind. I freed my mind. Not fooling me. Talking me out of my panties every November. Where's the protection? I haven't seen you pull out near a condom and you keep wanting to fuck every November. But I don't have no protections. I don't get nothing. You keep wanting to leave me with all the babies. Please. Anyway, those who know, I hope you guys understood that little rant. I'm sorry. See, that's why I can't do a lot of politics over here, because your girl will go off. I'm sorry. I can make it all relatable to all the other stuff that has nothing to do with anything. So that's why I keep it on reality TV, because the world's fucking insane in the membrane that Jean-Pierre has left the building. Okay? Jean-Pierre has left the building. So that was our highs. We had high to... Oh, Emmanuel, did you hear that Apollo Nida has a long-lost son, and it's the guy in the middle with the 12-pack named Terry Cripp. And it's the same guy who he did the Any Second podcast interview with that we looked at over the weekend. As it turned out, had I not said, go listen to the rest of it, and we listened to the rest of it, we would have heard that Apollo Nida has a long lost son who's this beautiful person right here who we said looks similar to him. Yeah, that's his long lost son, and they're doing big things together. And also in the high, we had the next gen, and we talked to Riley about stuff. And then in our buy, we had buy sour tea. You missed, I was talking about sweet tea. She was over there with Monica and Amir, Emmanuel. Did you see her little interview she did? And now we are on to, what's next? Y? Who's a Y? BBW, Gold's Recap. That's a Y. BBW Gold's Recap. That was a Y. Y what? So the aunties keep getting in the stuff. Now, Emmanuel, I did try to watch a couple of episodes. But I haven't been keeping up. I'm just like, every time I look at that show, I'm like, knowing that these women are like around 50, and it's just the level of chaos, all the fakeness. I know you like Evelyn, but I'm like, what's her storyline besides fucking with other people? Same with Jackie. Jackie just sits down every dinner and is like, well, I think this person and this person need to talk because she don't have nothing to say about her life, and it's just like a lot. And Jennifer and her dude are under attack. It's literally called Basketball Wives. She's the only wife, even though he's not basketball. I don't understand. And for some reason now, Brandy's catching strays allegedly in the clips. I'm not sure what that's about. But let's go to this history, and we're going to look at the golds. That's the best part of the week to me, is I've been going over to the golds. The golds. They have a freaking YouTube channel. Isn't it called the golds? Jennifer Williams and Christian Gold. Oh, look, they did an interview on Love and Fly Shit, Us Against the World. Christian Gold and Jennifer.
I don't understand why women always have to bring up someone's husband. And that's like younger than me. And at the time, I think Armani was 32, 33. And I was like, ain't no way. Because I'm thinking, I sat with this man for 6 hours. I had a very mature conversation. And I was like, there's no way. And look at us now. I'm gonna be honest, when I look at you, I don't see the age difference. Like, that's not what I see as soon as I look at you at all. And I think it's because of the way you carry yourself and because you keeping it all the way together and saying, and saying fine. We fine forever, girl. So I don't think
Thank
that's
you.
a
I
big deal at
appreciate
all. I
that.
wouldn't even have asked that question. I wouldn't even have thought to ask that. But I don't even know how old you are, but I mean, you're a grown man. It's all that matter, right?
Yeah, no, when I met him, he was 29.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 32 now.
Okay.
Oh.
So, I mean, but we did get that. It was hate. You know what I'm saying? It's like a double standard. Like, you know, like I older
Thoughts. And
Sorry.
I don't know that I ever really answered the question, because when she asked me, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, she might have a point. You know what I mean? So, I say it's not genuine because at one point, yes, we were friends, but because of everything that has happened, we are cordial because of the show. And outside of the show, even when we weren't beefing, I never like went to go have drinks with her, went to eat outside of these cameras rolling.
I get it.
Right? So yeah, we might have had like a conversation or whatever, but
things on them. But I pray that their mother, I would never speak bad on my children's mother. Because at one point, there was love. There still is love because she's the mother of my children. Right? But I pray that she finds peace. I pray that she finds happiness, yo. Because I know that one day, when she does, I will have to meet that man. Right? Because he's going to be around my children. But I just pray that she finds peace and not allow the opinions of others and the influence of others to guide her. Because that's exactly what's happening right now.
I feel like somebody's putting her up to it.
Well, we know who's putting her up to it.
Oh, wow. Who? Somebody y'all know? Somebody y'all...
Evelyn.
You, what?
Oh.
You think...
My wife, no, I'm very transparent. Like,
you think Evelyn is putting your
for sure.
child's mother...
Evelyn needs a storyline.
Oh, my goodness.
Last season, her storyline, she was becoming a private investigator. She needed 6,000 hours. This season, it's Jennifer and Christian. Y'all, it's Jennifer and Christian like the whole season. I feel like I don't even know what they air. Well, I don't know what they cut out each other. But thus far, it's been Jennifer and Christian. It's like, find something else to talk about.
Yeah.
What about the demons? What about the skeletons in your closet? You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. If that's true, that is a whole nother level.
That's a whole nother
Because that's
level.
completely unnecessary. You would think y'all had history. Like, why is she coming at you?
I wish I could answer the question. And I can be 100% sure of why. Why is she doing this? You know what I mean? But miserable people do miserable things and try to bring you down to that company. And
I just feel like, because of who I am, being on TV, people are very judgmental, right? And then they want to just start bringing up all kinds of shit. And I know he's weathered it well, but I know it has affected him.
for sure.
And he's learning to deal with it better. But I know it makes me sad because I know it's because of me. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I feel a level of guilt because I'm like, you know what? He didn't have any of these problems prior to me, right? He was just like a private person living his life. And now all of a sudden, any little thing he does is like they're looking at it with a magnifying glass, right? So that's kind of difficult for me.
So let me ask you, do you ever have those moments where you feel like this is not what I signed up for? Or do you feel like I knew what I was getting into? Because, like I said, Jennifer is the OG. You've been doing this for so long.
I don't think you never know till you in it.
Really?
Yeah,
You
I felt like I was prepared for it because all the checks were checked off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like a builder woman, but it was just like, morals, values, like all of that was there. And I'm just like, man, sometimes God just puts it right in front of you and we still deny it. So I was like, yo, I'm a man I like to take on tests. I like challenges. I love it. I don't like it easy. You know what I'm saying? So I said, yo, I know this is going to be a challenge, but let's play ball.
What are you playing? Y'all is it?
She also crazy too. I don't know if y'all watch it.
Listen, she does not play about her children.
You have siblings?
I have an older brother, and that ever in a relationship, and now in a marriage that I've had peace with a woman.
Damn.
Is that true?
Deep.
You feel like men, like peace is the one of the big factors?
That's the big factor. Just want peace. That's it.
Just want peace.
That's true.
To me. And I'm like, yo, I had to explain to my wife, and I said, hey, I need some time to process, just like you said, because if I say what I want to say right now,
It's not gonna come out, right?
I'm so used to being independent, right? Because I've been independent for so long. I'm open to constructive criticism, right? Because I know I don't do everything right. And I don't want someone around me that's an enabler. Like, I feel like your partner should leave me alone. I'm happy, right? And if I wasn't happy, I feel like it would show all over my face because I don't have a poker face, right? Like, I really am happy. We are happy together. It's so unfortunate because this is our first year of marriage and we have to deal with so much bullshit. However, I'd rather get it out the way now.
Yeah, I can get with that but I'm still looking just a second. No, that was the interview I just came across. I still am trying to get to you guys to the clip that I had queued for
What time it is?
Jennifer and her boo thing on their channel. Ooh. The gold standard. Look, they're up to 31,000 subscribers. So the aunties, here on LRGA Curves, when I did the reviews I did do of Basketball Wives, I did a little bit about that, but they are way more interesting off camera in the social medias than they are on the TV. Because on TV, I'm like so bored with Evelyn, so bored with Jackie, bored with Jackie's daughter, bored with Evelyn's daughter, bored with Brandy and her baby hairs, bored. But off show, these people in the social media streets are going crazy. And the Golds have a show. It's called The Gold Standard here on YouTube. Let's see if I go right here. And is this it? So this is their channel right here. Let me put that here. Where I'm about to go. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. Right on. Okay. So, anyway, Christian has siblings, he was just telling us, but he also has aunties. And his aunties love them some Christian, okay? Don't say nothing bad about Christian because the aunties are gonna go hard, okay? So they have this channel. It's called The Gold Standard. You can follow along on your devices to the chapter of The Gold Standard here on YouTube, in the book of YouTube, chapter of The Gold Standard, and check out their videos. And let me see, the Set It Off Sisters. Oh my gosh. So the most recent episode is called Set It Off Sisters, Don't Come for Our Family. That was yesterday, 2 days ago. It was just a recap with Chris and Jen. Does anybody else feel like Chris likes to talk a lot? I don't know that that's a good thing. I don't know that that's a good thing. And like, I feel like, because he talks so much, then he like kind of contradicts himself a little. Anyway, so they did an episode 2 days ago, said our names still on everyone's tongue. And 8 days ago, the aunties did another episode, and that's where they were pulling out pictures talking about Evelyn slept with the game. So we're going to look at the most recent episode of Set It Off Sisters, because they call themselves Coming with Receipts. Again, with the copyright disclaimer. This is under Whys and Lies in our segment today. We're going to be finishing up here soon. Thanks for coming in. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, share the video, ring the bell. You know the routine.
So of Auntie Spike Tea, where we don't just sip the truth, we spike it and serve it cold and let the receipts speak for themselves. Session just came a lot. And I often say she's bunny number one of Evelyn's. And so then after courts, after we went through the trauma of having to see him arrested again for a travel permit after he's gotten in no trouble all these years, while he's been on probation, he didn't get in any trouble. But the fact that he switched over to, a different territory there in Switzerland is what caused this. And she was there. So she went on her blog and was taking donations and cash apps for the mother of his children. But in turn, she came to Atlanta and stayed at the Red Roof Inn so that she could be in court, just so she could have front seat in court for her blog. I've never seen her so invested in anyone else or anything, So it's so many other things out there to go on, but she keeps continuing. Christianity is her story, literally her only story that she has. I just want to know, just talk about how we get out there. Then next, the second rabbit, which is the mother of his children, on her YouTube channel said she was living on welfare, but I was trying to figure out how she was on welfare and living in an Airbnb. That just didn't really add up there, because if you could be on welfare and afford to live in an Airbnb, something's not matching up here. Though I do know a few months later, Simone did fly to Turkey to have a facelift. Now, facelift in early 40s, whoa. I think people really in their late 60s and 70s have facelifts, but to be in your early 40s and already have to have a facelift, that's crazy. I know I'm not, all there. Yeah, she do need to go back. I agree she needs to go back. They didn't do a good job. It's just, she looks like that emoji hat, that emoji cat face, heart cat face. That's what she looks like to me. So, yeah, I just want to, we want to talk about moving on.
These aunties go in.
The family, what is going on? And, we talked to people about the fact that Simone helped the mother of his children draw up a cease and desist. She wanted him to stop reaching out to her, stop calling her, stop getting in contact. And she has his children, even to the point where he doesn't even know where his children are. And I just didn't know how you give someone a cease and desist, how they're supposed to support their children, visit their children, but then you get online and say he doesn't take care of his children. So these are a lot of things that we have to address, including blocking him from everything. So which kind of brings me to what we're talking about with you. I want to start off, Gigi, with how this started with the mother of his children, how this...
And I am a good judge, Karen. I reach like you, but all you have to do is open your mouth.
Yes.
I wasn't impressed.
Okay.
At all. Too much show. The emotion show. Right. I'm not going to hug you. I just known you for over a year.
Okay.
So, how you think? I said, how you think? Auntie, what you think? Sure.
Right.
But when I read that, what she put out, still wasn't impressed. And what it is
Because as a mom, spinning my son's face, how I can spin it?
I was not there.
Yeah.
I just found out a few months ago because they know me.
To her or anything lately? What's the relationship now?
Well, I tried to reach out to her in January. I sent her a text message and asked how she was doing. It's been a while. And I asked if she could provide me her address so I can send Christmas gifts for the babies.
Right.
And her response was no, thank you.
So, but you're the grandmother. She didn't want the kids to receive gifts from you?
No, she did not want to receive. She didn't want me to even. It was like, no, thank you. And I'm like, okay, it's one thing when you are going at odds with the father of your children or vice versa. But when you start to just, the grandparents, it's like, okay, I haven't done anything to you. So you have shown me, you've shown your true card.
Right.
So I reached out to Christian and told him, and he was like, okay, Mom, just, I'll try to see if I can get the gifts over to her. And it didn't set well with me.
Right.
At all, because I'm like, okay, it made me a little upset. But then I said, you know what? I'm going to give it to God and let God take care of the rest.
Right.
But yeah, it just did not sit well with me at all.
Well, you definitely had to give it to God when she spit in his face. Because as a mom, spit in my son's face, how can spit it?
I was not there.
Yeah.
I just found out a few months ago because they know me.
Yes.
They know I'm a no-nonsense person. But when you go that far to spit in someone's face and spit in their face, that's a charge.
It is. That's assault.
It is. So she didn't say anything about that.
No, she didn't.
If you're going to tell it,
and there's receipts.
Tell the truth.
One thing about Christian, he got the receipts. He keeps those receipts. Yes.
Listen, I'm not a mother that takes sides. I never did. People that know me well, I don't take sides. I let them know if you did it, if you are responsible for whatever, you right your wrongs.
Yes.
I've always been that way. People that know me know that. It's like, oh my God, Christian is the best. He's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? So, that my experience has been great. Like I said, I do understand the market.
Right.
And
so these are not only his auntie, but this lady right here is his mom. this is his auntie who said she pulled up on Evelyn in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. And I believe this is his other auntie. But this is Christian's mom right here. And she was just, they had a receipt up right here about how her trades are doing in Christian Gold's cryptocurrency trading platform. And she was showing that she's getting pretty good returns.
I do understand that you win some and you lose some. And so the wins were great. They were wonderful. And as well as the other clients in itself, they agreed as well. I saw the reviews that were coming across the screen. I'm like, okay, y'all happy just like I'm happy. We all happy.
Right.
But, like I said, when we did lose a couple of trades, it was like crickets in the room. No one wanted, they were mad. You know what I'm saying? Their smile turned into a frown. And
so that's a lot of information that we're getting. What do you guys think? Yeah, fair use, you guys. She told Evelyn that she didn't have a problem with her then. If I was Evelyn, I would have been looking at Shawnee sideways for being my best friend and not saying ish. Shawnee was nasty acting to Jen. Does she not like Jen because of Evelyn? If not, then why does she make it known to Jennifer? Because she knew Jen was talking about Shanice for a while. Oh, I don't know. I didn't see the episode. Like I said, I haven't seen it in a minute. Let's go here.
Now, I know we really can't talk about the lawsuit that much because it's ongoing. But what is your perspective? How do you feel about the lawsuit right now? Where do you think this energy is coming from? Because I know he has several successful and pleased individuals who he...
So there is a new case out against Christian. It just came out this week where supposedly additional people have come forward.
That was the daring. You used to make me eat what? Yes. Huh? Yes. Yes. Where? Yeah. With that long cigarette, 5 miles long. With the cigarette.
Yeah. So what I did, I opened the windowsill and I got my butt on the windowsill. And I'm like, all I heard was, hey.
She shit on her brother on his head. That's
she saw the
nasty.
shoes. And I guess in her mind, she probably thought they were mine, but still, you picked the shoes up and you took them with you. I mean, you saw the shoe, you was dangling like it was a carrot.
Right.
And you took the shoe and you was dangling like it was a carrot, and then you looked at it and then you took it home with you.
Right.
So days go by. I'm like, okay, if you felt like the shoe was mine, I mean, give me a call and let me know. Say, hey, I think I got your shoes.
Right.
Just to let you know. But that never happened.
And these are not just no average shoes.
No, this is not
$4,000 pair of shoes.
$4,000 pair
Okay.
of shoes. So I'm like, okay,
So the aunties are
but irregardless,
entertaining enough. But I'm going to let us hear now some Christian and Jennifer. But Christian be doing a lot of talking, you guys. I don't know. Let's see what we hear. This is the picture that's on the thumbnail of them on their wedding. So from the clips that I've seen this week, though, it does look like they showed their wedding in Vegas because people were saying they weren't really married. But, hey, I guess they get to shut the fuck up now because they're married.
Well, she didn't show up anyway, but I saw the scene where she just like, are you going? And she's like,
Shawnee comes or whatever. And let me just talk about that for a minute because, I find it real strange that you sit up in church and you praise the Lord all week, every Sunday. And then it's like they start talking about me, which I have done nothing to her. And you turning up your nose like as a first lady, aren't you supposed to support marriage? So, I just find it very contradicting. But those are my thoughts.
you want to hear my thoughts?
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't want her to be at the Paris wedding. But like I said, I had to respect my wife's guest list. Well, she didn't show up anyway, but I saw the scene where she just like, are you going? And she's like, no. Like, she kind of with a twisty face. I mean, I don't want you to be there anyway. If you would have showed up. See, I didn't know that Jennifer said that she was invited, but she went to go see the girls at the house in Vegas. But if she would have showed up, I would have been like, who are you? I wouldn't have known. Position like, oh, I'm scared. Why don't y'all defend me? She attacked me. Like, nobody want to hear all that. Like, we're going to call you out on your BS, because that's nuts.
Yeah,
that's
when a bully gets bullied, that's not so fun, huh? But you can talk shit about everybody else. Blur out that Evelyn called Auntie a cunt. Like, what are you protecting her for?
Yeah,
she called her a cunt.
Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the problem because y'all protect this woman. And we know the real. We have the screenshots. We have the paper trail of her coming from my aunt. My aunt wouldn't want to come for this woman just off GP. Like, she's coming for this woman because she got invited, accepted the invitation, and then now Evelyn want to fold up in fetal position like, oh, I'm scared. Why won't y'all defend me? She attacked me. Like, nobody want to hear all that. Like, we're going to call you out on your BS because that's nuts.
Yeah, when a bully gets bullied, that's not so fun, huh? But you can talk shit about everybody else. But the minute somebody says something about you, oh, why didn't you defend me? I would never let anybody talk about you. Girl, bye. And I don't even want to talk about her because she's like, in her words, a non-factor.
Yeah, I mean, she trained out there nice because like I'm gonna keep it real. There's only so many buttons you can push with me when you talk about my wife. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, see, Christian is very in on everything. He has a lot to say, but it's good. We'll see
buttons
how
you
it
can push.
plays
The
out.
thing is, I don't gotta get violent. I don't have to get violent. But there's only so many buttons you can push.
See, that's what I'm talking about. He's talking too much. He's talking too much. I don't get violent, but there's only so many buttons that you can push.
It's irrelevant. Another thing, the non-factor, right? it's really hilarious, babe, because there was also a scene where it's like her and Brandy have this like up and down friendship. How do you feel about that? Because it's like they got into an argument out there. Because she felt like, oh well, why would you invite her to my birthday, or why would you plan my birthday weekend while we're having this?
We set our vows to each other. Our pastors were there. They, our union, our marriage. Can you imagine if Paris and all, and Kiki, back in December, why did you sign a paperwork to get your $1,500? Because you think Christian runs his business like some low budget person and there's not receipts and paperwork? Why did you sign a paperwork since you're so hard up and pressed for this $1,500 to
Yes.
get your refund? Why you ain't sign it? Oh, because you want to be a part of a lawsuit so you can get some damages? Girl, have a seat. Run the paperwork.
We know what it is.
Yeah, it's a money grab.
We know what it is.
So you, there were clips on the screen about a letter that was dated a long time ago that asked for a signature and all this kind of stuff, and it was unsigned, as well as the email.
Cat lady attorney. I feel like we had a good time.
Oh, I had a black.
Remember
He
when
got there right at the tail end of it.
Yeah, he got there at the tail.
I said, just watch her. Shit came to the light, and I told her many other things. Shit came to the light. So I understand that you hate our union, but now it's time that you focus on being a grandmother. That's a beautiful thing. You have a grandson. You have a podcast now. You have a lot more to focus on, right? So,
and we're also coming up on being together for 3 years. So
at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, VH1, y'all talk about.
Yeah, so I think he likes it. I think he likes it. And so that's the whys. And I don't know, the aunties were saying that there was lots of lies in there as far as what Evelyn has to say or not to say. And then let me go over here real quick. See if we can pull this up. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring the bell on the way in if you haven't already. Thanks for hanging out. Now, I did do a post yesterday of Portia. And it said, Curvies, what are your questions for Portia? She's taking questions. I had one lingering question. So, and then this is a screen that says what Portia's questions were on her post. So she's all, have you ever, this is the Ask Portia segment. Have you ever dated someone with kids? Or maybe you just want to know how to navigate dating someone with a child or children? Drop your questions below because this one is going to get deep. Be sure to use Ask Portia. You must be subscribed to my YouTube channel. Oh, darn. I didn't put the Ask Portia thing on it. I need to go back and follow directions. I need to go edit that right now. Is it too late? So anyway, my question is that you can't. Okay, it says, question, how do you displace 5 minor children so you can squat in a house with only 1? What does a person have to do to not care about their 5 minor stepkids so they can use a 7-bedroom house to make YouTube content? Asking because I have stepkids and would never, yet am intrigued that a person with kids could do this. So now I'm going to go back to hers, and I'm gonna edit my question so that I use the right hashtag. Portia Williams. Portia Williams. Over here. Do you guys think that was a bad question? I don't think so. Edit. Hashtag ask Portia. There we go. Save. Okay, I used it. So after I posted that, you guys, somebody did not like that I said that. And because I came over to my channel and I posted that, and I told the Curvies, like I said, I was like, go ahead and post your questions. And so somebody came on and said, I like your content, but that comment is not, but that's not even funny. You don't have to like Portia, but that's a bit rude to go on her page to post that. Simon is at fault for displacing his children. His scamming ways put him in jail away from his children. And the same person, said something else, but it disappeared now. Let's see. So to that I said, thanks for the comment and the view. I understand that to some, it may seem rude to ask such a blunt question. Yet it's valid, especially since on the episode of Portia house hunting with her mom and sister, they had a flashback to when Portia was house hunting with Simon. And Portia said she had 6 kids to the realtor. This got me thinking again about the story of the other 5 minor children and their whereabouts. I've been disappointed in the fakery this season from Mrs. Gobadia, and that may have added to my edge, but I still think it's a valid question. Do you guys think it's a valid question? I think it was an excellently valid question, you guys. Don't make me go curse somebody out. Portia, right? Like they were like, they said more, but I didn't respond to that comment. It was a similar comment, but longer. And I guess they came back and erased it after they saw this response because it is no longer here. Let's sort by newest first. Yeah, there's only 2 now. There used to be 3. Okay, so do you guys think that was a horrible question? Are you guys also wondering what happened to Simon's kid? I mean, they literally had the flashback of her house hunting, talking about why she needed such a big house last time, which, I mean, she doesn't really have a reason except for she wants a big ass house this time. But that's always Portia's reason, because before Portia even got a kid, she went and bought that little mini castle after Cordell left her ass, and she had her freaking wedding dress in that box in that big ass house by herself that now Mama Diane lives in, that she about to have to go live back in. That they all looking for a new mini McMansion. So remember in that episode, they literally explained why they needed so many bedrooms. It wasn't just flossing and living in the lap of luxury, And now here you are looking for an 8-bedroom house, and your mom and your sister are going to have to move in to fill the rooms, because really what you really just want is a big ass house with or without the kids by your fucking self, by yourself. Let's see. So, and the last part, so that was a lie. I don't know. I put it under lies. I'm going to real quick spend 10 minutes and let you guys hear my review for this week's episode of freaking Real Housewives of Atlanta, because I did it different this week. I didn't go live about it because I'm really disappointed. So I did like a little 10-minute talk to the screen thing while it was playing. And I'm going to let that play real quick. Right here. Yeah, the volcanoes are going off, man. Okay. So here are my thoughts on Real Housewives of Atlanta this week. Coming through. So my question is, how is it that this season Portia has the audacity to say that a cast member cannot film with and make music with her baby's dad? So they weren't married. There was no legality. It's literally a baby daddy situation. But she could DM Simon while he was still married to Fallon and entertain him in a relationship regardless of Fallon's pregnancy. She did that. She had no issue doing that to a castmate. Yet she requires and demands that castmates can't talk to, can't film with, can't make music with. Like, why does Portia Williams get all the Peens in Atlanta? And how do the Peens feel about it? Like, what is the payoff to Dennis, the hot dog man, to have Portia decide who he can kick it with? Now, I don't remember nothing about Portia saying shit when I saw Fallon and Dennis kicking it strong, going around doing interviews and shit like that. She didn't have nothing to say because she was on Simon's private jet. But now that Simon's private jet can't be filmed, and while he's on detention, and while he has a cease and desist not to film in my house, don't film in my car, don't mention my name this season at all. And so now here she come with fake, imaginary, audacious, audacious problems. And the audacity is actually disgusting because the amount of entitlement it takes for a whole thought to demand that other people who don't have thought behavior somehow exist in her little freaking box of what's right today, but it was okay. What's right today wasn't wrong when you took that lady's husband. It wasn't wrong when you DM'd that lady's husband. But for Drew to film with your baby daddy who had every opportunity to tell your ass and didn't tell you, but now you're going to bring it to the girl, right? Okay, well, Fallon knows you won then. I can't wait. Ooh, I hope Fallon gets her lick in. And by the way, it's not even, Cynthia, for Portia to go and film with Ralph and ask him what parts of women does he sniff when she has no business with Ralph. And Shamia wasn't talking business at the time. And why is Portia showing up at business meetings she has no business in, if not to spite Drew, who had legitimate business with Dennis, who is a fabulous producer. If you've heard the Delulu song and all the other songs on their album, look, that shit is hitting. I'm like, is that the hot dog Dupree? Like Jermaine Dupri? I don't know if it's something in the water in Atlanta that he kind of looked like Jermaine Dupri. And now come to find out he can make music like Jermaine Dupri? Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm getting. I don't know if they long lost cousins or what, but that music is banging. And there's literal business for Drew to be partaken of with the hot dog man. And Portia is a hating, conniving, low down, insecure type of thought to have to turn around and film with that man and then talk about Drew the way Drew already knew she did anyway. And you know what really chaps my hide as a viewer? Is that Portia is fake getting over fake beef. Get over it already. Let that shit go. Just because you don't have a storyline means you get to browbeat Drew into submission to work her way into like your square peg as a circle because she has her whole. Drew actually has a whole story going on this season that they are not letting us near, wasting all this time having these gaggle of hens take turns calling her liar, act like she's an issue. They never let her finish the sentence. They do not let Drew finish the sentence. That's why she had to go sing. That's the only way she can get it all out is in a good old song because these bitches don't let her finish the sentence. I'm like, really, bitch? Angela, come here, girl. So on Beverly Hills, they used to have this lady named Camille Grammer, and Kelsey Grammer was her husband, as you may or may not know from like the series. Anyway, you know the series, and he made girlfriends and stuff like that. Well, he was doing a Broadway play when Camille finally landed her role on Beverly Hills, and as it turned out, her appearance on Beverly Hills as a housewife was turned out to be kind of like a parting gift from their marriage because he was over in a play playing it up with the next one and let Camille have a housewife's role under his last name as kind of like a parting gift is what the theory is urban legend has it. So the way that Charles unfortunately doesn't hold her hand, he won't say he loves her. It seems like his love language is hating on her ass. Yeah. And she's like, oh, we love more each other every day. Yeah, right. I don't think he likes her a lot. It's sad to see. But now she's on her freaking anniversary. After they already had a separation. Now she's on an anniversary. Like Portia said, with all of these divorcees. Look, be like Dr. Heavenly. Don't have your relationship for sale. For Kelly to sit up here and make Drew the problem, I'm like, really, Kelly? Who put you in charge of everything? And did you swallow a bullhorn, by the way? Because it seems like you're doing a lot of yelling. I don't know if it's because you're little and you feel like you're not heard. I know in my house, when I'm in my yelling, it's because I'm not feeling heard. And so I'm just acknowledging that, darling. But, yeah. Who put her in charge of stirring the pot? And then it's like, did you do it just so your co-host for the trip could have an opportunity to dig in Drew's ass about calling her a lapdog? Which, by the way, Shamia, you are being, even still to this day, your unabetted loyalty to what Portia has shown as utter disrespect for your friendship is very telling about the amount of abuse you'll take and kind of like sad bad look because you're beautiful and I want you to be confident and and it feels like now all that confidence just might be a front for a lot of insecurity. And for what? Like, you're gorgeous, you got money, your husband loves you, your family, your mom, like so much things that why is Portia's ass the place that you want to be? And this is the first time that Portia's finally speaking up. So that's the first time Portia's finally speaking up. And those are my honest thoughts in real time. Yep, Hot Dog Dupree. What's good, Satra Del Rey? What is good? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, Ice picked him up, man. Ice picked him up. About you being a lapdog, by the way. And I don't even wear foundation, but can they get it right, please? Because, look, all these heads and faces, different color than necks and hands. Come on now. Come on. Somebody fix that. And for Kelly to say that Drew has an issue with everyone at the table except whoever she said, what problem does Drew have with Kelly? That she wasn't on the list of not a problem. Like, what the fuck is going on that they're making her the problem? I feel like, I'm not saying that Drew is in any way needy-ish. However, this type of pile-on and narrative spin and gaslight spin we've seen before when they were making Nene the issue when she wasn't the issue. Like, she was just trying to get clear on some things and they were making her the issue all the time. Remember that? And then finally they were just like, oh, we can't work with her. And then she had to leave. And then she left after being attacked all season, even though her husband was going through it. And nobody had any fucking sympathy for her because they treated her like the character they made her be. Meanwhile, this feels so set up. So they all had they have a group chat where Drew's not included. where they all know that they have a problem with Drew, but Drew's freaking clueless because none of them tell her what the fucking problem is until they bring it up on camera to make her the problem. And the way that Portia just brings stuff up to people, and then the way she repeats it like she pre-games victim every opportunity when she was just the villainous bitch. She was literally just the villainous bitch. And then she pre-games victim in her retelling of her being a villain. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It's like weird. I really wish she'd stop. I don't know, where's the old Portia? Where's fun, happy-go-lucky? Where's the days of the year? What's an Underground Railroad? This is feeling very malicious and mean, and the amount of gaslighting and abuse that you're doing to Drew specifically is hard to digest because this is my first season back also to Real Housewives of Atlanta after all of the Nene kerfuffle. And so to come in on this agitated, manufactured, fake storyline BS just so you can save your job but waste my entertainment hours is kind of a lot, you know. But I appreciate like a version of the truth, but you know, just I don't know, it's hard to digest. This is not just like, I wish it was a comedy, except for you're really hurting Drew's feelings. You know what I mean? Like, I think Drew's like really hurt. She's going through a divorce and she's constantly having to defend herself around these ladies who could be a circle of friends, but is only a circle of vipers in her time of need, and is sitting down with her husband who refuses to do so much, like he's great because he bought you a pork chop, is really high-key disgusting. And Phaedra, we know you still care about Apollo. It's okay. You let him follow you over there to Married to Medicine because you still care, because he still adds value to your brand in a way. I would be supposed to say that, I don't know, I think like Apollo and Phaedra might make a cameo soon. I don't know. But that's kind of usury. Like you drag him on to Married to Medicine, and now, oh, he married to somebody else, but you dragged him on to Married to Medicine while he was with somebody else. But now it's like an issue that she asked about it. Why are you here? What is Phaedra's storyline? I mean, just that she's back as Frack, or is it Frick? And she has fabulous wigs, and she hasn't really had any one-liner zingers with the ladies so far that I've really seen. And I'm really looking for them. I'm like, you know, waiting for like a Phaedra, you know? And so hopefully we'll get it. Oh, look. I guess we won't. So that was my take this week. It was so quick and short, you guys, because I didn't have a lot to say about it. I really didn't. And look, we're right at 2 hours and 10 minutes, about 2 hours and 17 minutes. I don't know. So you know what we're going to do next is thanks for your support. This is my Cash App, my Venmo. You guys are welcome to send me things. Keep this channel going for these subscriptions and these thingamajigs. Keep the lights on. There's maintenance over here. You know. I put a lot of hours in over here for us. This is like a part-time passion job. And they say if you do what you love, you'll get paid, you guys. That's what they say. And I certainly love coming out here with my curvy crew, spending time with you, and getting to know you, getting to know all about you, and all of that there. So thanks for coming through again. Like I said, be sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring the bell on your way out. Okay? And be sure to share this little community that we have over here. We are 30 away from 3K, you guys. 30 away from 3K. Yep, so 30 away from 3K. Make sure you smashing the like button, smash the subscribe button, ring my bell, share the video, you guys. Let's share. Let's get to 3K. Making dreams happen, okay? See you in the next video. Remember what I always say, there's enough to go around, so go get some. Peace.